Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mallory's Weird World Adventures, the podcast. I'm your host, Malorie, and I'm here to show you just how weird this world of ours really is. For those of us joining us for the first time, Weird World Adventures is a brand with a focus on travel overall, though our specialty lies in featuring the strangest and most unusual places around the world. We highlight myths, legends, belief systems, and weird people living weird lives in a very celebratory way. As a proud weirdo myself, I'm happy to see the brand come to life. Watch Weird World Adventures on Amazon Prime, our TV show, or visit maloriesadventures.com for more. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. On Instagram, we're at Mallory's Adventures. On Facebook, we're at Weird World Adventures. And on TikTok, we're at Mallory's Adventures. As your guide and host, I'm a board member in the Washington, D.C. chapter of the Explorers Club. I am a journalist with a specialty in mythology, folklore, and the occult. And I'm excited because I have my friend Megan Mackie here with me today, and spelled differently, but
Yes. I feel like we should be Bugs and Babs, right? Buster and Babs, no relation.
Yeah, no relation. Mackie and
No
Mackie.
relation. We don't even spell it the same way. And yet.
I mean, there's not that many Mackies. I think I knew one other Mackie my whole life.
Oh, I mean, I know several Mackies, but they're all related to my husband in some way. So,
Well, that's I guess that's a good point.
yeah,
I guess my
to
sister,
be
my
fair.
dad, my grandpa. That's
Yeah.
so there's that. But Megan, I wanted to talk to you today about we both were just speaking recently at ConCarolinas down.
Yeah. That
Is it?
was my first time going.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
amazing. It was my first time too. So I guess what was your you do the con scene a lot, right?
I do. I do a lot. It was like if anyone's ever been to Dragon Con, which at least 65,000 people have,
Yeah.
every year. Dragon Con is this big, intense networking thing that is like several cons going all at once. This was like that, but like a slice of Dragon
Mhm.
Con. So, a lot of the same people that I would interact with and hang out with at like the authors bar in the West End were here. And like I said, we all get like a little more share of the conversation because we're not all competing to show how great we're doing or how
Mm.
great we're going to do. So it was nice to have more words to say, and I could hear myself think because there was less thumpy music.
Yes. It was a nice mix of people. What track were you mostly speaking in? Was it the Geek Life?
Yeah, it was like writing tracks and then I think urban fantasy track. Which is, par for the course.
Right. I know I was put on the paranormal track, which I was like, okay. I mean, I guess my
Right.
show has a
Well,
lot of
then we
paranormal
crossed.
themes. Yes.
That's how we crossed paths.
Yeah, exactly. And then we were in the Buffy one, which I'm so excited about. Return of
Yes.
Buffy.
Yeah, no, I know my headcanon for that will not come to pass because I'm not in the right place at the right time, but man, I really wish it would.
I know. I have to ask. So me and Michael, my husband, we're rewatching, or I'm rewatching. He's watching for the first time Angel right now.
Oh,
I'm so
the Voyaging.
excited. Yes. We just we're only we watched season one, which is just a trip. And
Yeah,
it's so different.
proof of concept hard.
Yes, like Vampire Detective in Los Angeles.
Yeah, yeah, and definitely Giles is a little too close to the 16-year-old in terms of space in a school setting, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so now we're on season two of Angel. And we're just
Oh,
getting to the
okay.
good stuff. We're just getting to like the Darla stuff.
Yeah, yeah, the Darla arc was probably I wouldn't say it's their best one, but it's definitely up there. It's solid.
Yes. And anything, I love the Wolfram Hart stuff. And I secretly love Lila
Yeah.
Morgan. I think she's great. So I'm like
Mm.
excited to kind of get into that Lindsay Lila rivalry that unfortunately didn't really go anywhere. That,
No, it didn't, did it? I don't
because
know.
they got Lindsay left the show and they brought in Gavin and he was just not comparable.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot about Gavin. That's exactly what the problem with Gavin is.
Yes. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
Every time Buffy comes up, I just digress so hard.
poor Gavin.
I know. Yeah. It's funny because Michael's watching Lost. I'm not watching Lost, but I'm around while he's watching Lost.
You're
Like,
absorbing Lost.
yes. And he's in Lost, and so is guy that plays Holland Manners. A lot of Wolfram and Hart is on Lost.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, funny. They must have had the same casting director.
Yeah, and it's the same time frame.
Yeah, yeah, it's literally like, hey, I need a little more money to make my rent. Okay, I got this other thing you can go do.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, I know that person from Angel. I know that person from Angel. I know that person
Yeah,
from Angel. And if I see or Buffy, and if I see someone in any show from that timeline, and I recognize them, I'm like, well, I either know them from Buffy or Angel, which I'll know that I do.
right.
Or if I can't pinpoint why that I know them, but I know that I know them, it's because they were also on Just Shoot Me, which is also on at that
Oh,
time.
like I forgot that Zoe from Firefly was on Angel. She was the daughter
Oh,
goddess
yeah.
prophet thing. And I was like, oh man,
Yes, Jasmine.
dang.
I I like controversially really love that storyline after all the badness. Like when after she's birthed. The like
Right,
the metaphor and like just the idea of like this God being like, well, I make everything better. Worship me. Why aren't you worshiping me? You should, I
right, right.
just the commentary on religion. I liked it quite a lot.
Well, and I think the hardest part about that whole thing is she is so innocent in this whole thing. She really is like, I'm just doing what I'm here to do. This
Yeah,
is how it's supposed to be. And she's like, "Oh my God, you're just a child. You don't haven't really thought out your nefarious plan. You're just
existed.
thrust into."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She's just incredibly innocent of the whole situation. And it's like, oh, that hurts.
Yeah. And I you kill people. I kill thousands to save millions. Like it's like the
Right, right. It makes perfect sense.
yeah. It's just I like the gray line. I like that it walks the gray line.
Because she
More
doesn't know
than
right from wrong.
right. More than like Buffy, which is like black and white, like good and evil. A lot of times.
Yeah.
Very gray. I like
That always takes me back to Vision. I was only born yesterday.
yeah. Yes. So good.
So good.
So I want to ask, we'll go back a little bit to your history too, about
Yeah.
what brought you to the con scene. You're a writer. Can you tell us a little bit about your
Yes.
history as a writer?
Yeah. So I am urban fantasy, cyberpunk, cozy paranormal romance, uh zombie apocalypse, and a bunch of other things writer. So I applied to be a speaker at ConCarolinas and I got pulled in and then I was like, oh boy. Because I've heard so many people I know have gone to ConCarolinas before who are in the writing scene, and I was encouraged strongly to go. And man, like just from the first 5 minutes of being there, I was like, oh yeah, this was the absolute right move to come here. And I had a really good time. I got to promote my books. I got to meet the patron saint of indie authors. Do you know? Oh my God, I love him already, and I only met him for 5 minutes.
I didn't meet him.
Yep, he walks around and buys every one of your books on your table. Especially
Aww.
if you're the new one that's there. And that's what I called him, is like, oh, you're the patron saint of indie authors.
Aw, that's so cool. I know I'm hoping to be in the author alley next year because I'll have 6 books next year.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you because you got stuck into the I guess the artist room or the secondary dealer's room to sign books. Did anyone show up?
There was a few. We definitely sold a
Okay.
few books, but it was very like kind of an afterthought, like, oh, we'll have some of our speakers like sign books for a couple of hours. But I mean,
Yeah,
it was just very like in the back though. So it was like it was
exactly. I was wondering why you didn't have a spot in the author's alley where the rest of us were and there was traffic.
right. Well,
Right.
originally they had sent me the stuff for it and then they said that you have to have at least like 5 books. And I have them, but they're not out yet. So I'm like,
Oh,
well,
gotcha.
next year.
Well, I know a couple of people who only had one that meant they had to split a table, but you wouldn't have cared about that because,
No.
yeah, there was a couple of people that only had like one or two and they had to split a table. I got a full table because I had so many titles.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, because they
Yeah.
said like, nope, you have to have at least 5. But I think it was late because they were supposed to send it to me and they sent it to me late, and I think there was just no space and they just didn't want.
Yeah, that could very well
Yeah.
be. There was no room at the end.
But I'm excited to next year to get that out. Thank goodness the book storm is done.
Right, right.
How many books have you written?
I've written, I think I'm up to 21 now.
Wow.
So like my book career is old enough to vote and drink.
Wow. Wow. It's
Yeah,
so impressive because so many people like say they want to write a book and they never get around to it.
right. The first book is hardest, but you know what's harder is your second book.
Mm.
Writing the second book is actually harder. It's just like the terrible twos. Well, wait till the terrible threes.
Hmm. Yes.
Now they can run around.
I feel, have you started using any AI tools? I'm not to write, but like to plan out or like organize your structure.
Oh, I messed with it once when ChatGPT went first came out. I did like, okay, well, come up with a schedule for me to put Facebook content out.
Mm.
And it did, and I kind of did, but I haven't done it more since because as much as it was nice to have that guideline, it was still pretty generic. It was things everybody else was putting out, and I don't like to do what everybody else is doing, which is why I'm always doing the unconventional things, and I only jump on the bandwagons I was already on. Like,
Yeah.
like I knew who Peter Dinklage was before he got into Game of Thrones, so when I heard what his casting was, I was like, "Oh man, I'm a big fan of him. He's going to do a great job." So like I'm the original person on that bandwagon. So I feel like I'm not getting off. You guys get off.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it's the way to be. You gotta
The way
start
to be, yeah.
definitely and
Yeah.
be like true to yourself. I was hard against AI. And then I
Hmm.
work with a marketing firm and they use it a lot for planning. And my boss is like, just try it to like, do some of these tasks to make your life easier. And I used Claude, which is like a different one, which I like
Oh,
better.
okay.
And I found if you can write aggressively detailed instructions about what you want, it's really good about organizing your thoughts. So we're like
Oh,
working on
yeah.
I've never really done much of fiction, but me and my husband are like kind of working on something now. And I was like, this is like the full like arc of what we want to see here. Like, how would you structure these chapters? And it can like help you, guide you.
Oh, especially if you don't know how to outline. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm not, which that's AI part aside, what that is planning. There's planning,
Yes.
pantsing, and plantsing. And I'm
Hmm.
a plantser. I'm in the
Hmm.
between of actually outlining the whole book
Hmm.
and writing by the seat of my pants. And then it comes back to acting training
Yes.
because like you want the guidelines of the script and everything, but you have to have room for spontaneity and
Hmm.
improvisation.
Hmm.
So yeah, that um I could see that being very useful using AI to create yourself an outline when, especially if you're not really an outliner,
Hmm.
because there's a handful of genres you absolutely have to outline. You have to kind of follow the formula, and that like the big one is romance. Romance has a set formula, and if you don't follow that formula, you didn't write a romance. You can have write something with romance elements in it, but you didn't write a romance. It's like if you didn't follow the instructions to make a souffle, you didn't make a souffle. You
Hmm.
made souffle-like thing, but it wasn't a souffle.
Right. And the people that read romance know what they want to read. Like they're getting into
Right.
it because they want it to be like every other romance that they've read, but slightly different. Just a different
Right, but so
story.
still surprise them and
Yeah.
twist it when they don't see it coming and still make the stakes seem believable. And that's still hard.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been interesting. So I'm just curious because I'm an aggressive planner, but then I also
Okay.
allow myself to stray. But I mostly do nonfiction though. So if I'm writing,
Yeah, and nonfiction
it's
also has to be very structured because you have to create the story out of the facts
yes.
and not find the facts to support the story.
Yes. It's it's my comfort zone because I came from editorial writing, but I'm feeling more confident recently. But I want to ask you about your most recent book.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have Cookbooks and Demons, and the second one is Baking and Angels that just came out. It's my cozy paranormal romance. And the basic premise is it's about a woman who doesn't know how to cook and somehow summons a demon.
I
It's
love
really straightforward.
it.
Shenanigans ensue.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah. And it's doing really well. I'm looking forward to I'm going to Indie PopCon here. I'm driving tomorrow to Indianapolis to do Indie PopCon. I don't know when this podcast is coming out.
I'm
So it
gonna
might
put
be
it
too late.
out tonight, so
Oh, okay. Okay. So
good
yeah, yeah.
idea.
For those who are in Indiana and want something to do this weekend, come find me at Indiana Indie Pop Con in Indianapolis. Um, it'll be, I think, the first time I've had both books at cons, but I've only had like a handful of the second one. Because that's usually what you do. You bring a bunch of the first one and a couple of the second one, but I keep
Mhm.
selling out of the second one like way too fast. So this is
Wow.
the first time I'm going to come in with a full complement of the second one, and we'll see what happens. Could be a very good day for my bank account.
How long have you been in the con scene?
I started doing cons not too long after I first published my first book because I was having a very difficult time figuring out how do I sell this book now that I've published it. And the first one, of course, there used to be a time where you could publish it on Amazon and do no marketing and people would just find it and buy it. The algorithm would just present them with the book and people would buy it and then
Mhm.
it'd take off from there. But that window closed years ago, definitely before I started doing things. So I started in 2017 was when I published my first book, and then I think a few months after that I went to my first con, which was is this little geek person con. It doesn't exist anymore. I can't even remember what the name of it was. All I remember about it was that it took place on a indoor soccer pitch, so the ground was super spongy, which set me up for misunderstanding how every other con in the world will be on freaking concrete.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So it took me a long time to realize the right shoes I should be wearing because that first one I was fine in my regular shoes. But that was a lot of fun. It was I sold 20. I was pretty happy with myself. It was a good start and it was the when my book was at its rawest, but when I was still learning how to do a proper edit and
Mhm.
do proper layout and stuff like that. So anybody who's got those early editions of that book and stuff, hang on to them. They're going to be very valuable someday. I actually got one of mine back. I got it back from it was in a store getting resold, and I was like, "Oh, this is one of the first ones I made. I don't have this. I need to take this back."
Yeah.
And
That's
they actually gave it
amazing.
to me for free because it was my book, which was nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first published book was a memoir, and
Oh,
it it was through a publisher, and it
it's
somehow the editor like was not doing a good job, and it like reverted. I mean, it had so many
oh,
grammatical errors and things that shouldn't have been there because someone just wasn't paying attention and things. So I looked at it
crap.
and I'm like, this is crazy. Like it was something that it actually had to get pulled for like a second edition because it was so like not well edited.
So
And,
bad.
I got
Like they
slammed
edited it and
for
they
it.
made it worse.
Yes.
Oh God, that
Yeah. And I
sucks.
mean, it was crazy because, I'm like, oh, I have a publisher and it's like the real deal and I have an editor and this and that. And it was just like, what?
Nope. Sometimes no.
No, and my husband like recently read through it and he made fun of me because I like we've changed it. We have since changed it, so it's all good. But it said
Right, right, right. No, believe me,
deductive.
Finder has gone through like 6 edits. It's as good as it's gonna ever get. Okay,
Yes,
yeah, there's one typo still in there, but at this point, we salute thee.
yes.
Well done. You've survived the battle. You deserve a, you deserve to exist in my book.
Yes. It said deductive reasoning, and they changed it to abducted reasoning.
Oh, funny.
And
I've had some
I
like that.
can't have that out there. I'm like, this has to change now. So that one has been changed because like that
Right,
can't be
right.
yeah.
I had a word, I had segue, Segue, and
Mhm.
they changed it to Segway, Segway. So apparently, instead of we're going to segue over to this idea, we're going to literally go on this little scooter thing. And apparently, that's what was happening.
Oh, that's so good. That's another great tool for AI is editing. AI, like the
Well,
Claude.
and there's no choice now.
Yeah.
Like Word has put their AI on their
Mhm.
spell check.
Yes.
Yeah, which I find very insulting sometimes because it's like, this would be a better way to write it. Yeah, well, you're not writing it.
Right. This is
This is
mine.
dialogue. Nobody speaks that way, you stupid computer.
That's fair. That's you can like take a chapter and put it in Claude and say, don't change any of like the meanings or the words, just check and fix any grammar issues and it'll fix it.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. Like I'm notoriously bad with commas and I don't care. If the thing says the comma goes here, I'm like, I don't argue with you.
Hmm.
I don't care where the fucking comma goes as long as it's not something that's obviously wrong.
Right. I
Right.
Yeah, the theater training for me is overusing commas because of pauses. I'm like,
Well, yeah,
eh.
that was my biggest pitfall.
Hmm. Hmm.
That was my biggest pitfall when I first started writing because, yeah, you use repetition to emphasize something, but you don't repetition so much in the written word because you don't hear it the way you would say it,
Yes.
or like M dashes mean longer pause or a break,
Mhm.
and they don't like M dashes in actual literature. It's
No.
sad but true.
Yes, it's true. So it's interesting to I'm curious to see how that's going to develop and change in the future.
Well, there's only one case I've run across so far where I don't disparage this person for considering to use AI to write their book because she's 86. She's got heart failure, like she's in decline, and
Mhm.
she wrote this trilogy and she didn't get the third one done. And she's
Mm,
like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't afford to do have a ghostwriter finish this for me. I don't, and it's sometimes there are days that'll go by and I can't,
mhm.
because it's just too much. And I told her, he's like, you know what? This is the one case I have found so far. Like, go put your thing in an AI thing, make it spit out a rough draft for yourself, and you go and re-edit it and revise it, and then you turn that in as your third book because she doesn't have the time, she doesn't
Yeah.
have the money, and I don't think anybody in the world would fault her because, if she's still around in a year, I'll be very pleased
Yeah.
because she's my friend, but I will be also a bit surprised the way things have been going for her.
Yeah.
So that's the one case I've found so far about like letting AI write your book where I'm like, yeah, because
Right. I mean, what else are you
right.
gonna do? You have to finish
What
it.
else is she gonna do?
Yeah. And you can train AI on voices. Like if you put in
Yeah.
her first, she could put in her first two books and say, learn this voice, write it in this style. And it's very good at
Yeah.
making like her voice, her style.
Yeah, just take the first two books, feed
Mhm.
it into the machine, and have it help you write the third one, and nobody needs to know.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know. But then at least her trilogy be done and she can feel complete.
Yes. Yes. I have to ask you too about ConCarolinas. What was the
Yeah.
most interesting cosplay that you saw?
Ooh. Um, there was that guy there that was doing Planet of the Apes.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, it was creepy, uncanny, but convincing. I don't know. It looked like he'd walked off the set of the movie, but his
Oh,
eyes were moving around and everything, and he was still expressing through his eyes. So I was like, I having a hard time not believing you're a monkey person.
yeah.
And then he came over and talked to us about like, oh, I create this stuff. This is my job. I create this stuff and build it and add a syntax and
Wow.
latex and stuff. And I was just like, I was impressed. And he handed me a card, and I was like, cool. I don't know when I'll ever use you, but cool.
That's
So I
really
think,
cool.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the hardest part is to not hide your eyes so that it doesn't look like a flat face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. I like the dog. There was a dog that was spray painted, which I didn't love actually, but that should be
Oh,
something. And I don't even know what it was, but that dog had like a whole hairdo spray painting
yeah,
experience.
I saw that dog. Was it a dinosaur?
It looked, it was
Or
one.
no, it was a dragon.
Yes. Okay. That was
Because I
it.
remember on the side they had buzzed out the
Ah,
wing shape, which is the only thing that told me this was supposed to be a dragon. But yeah, the dog seemed fine, but I was like, that's a lot of hair dye.
yes. It was
That is a
a lot of
very tolerant dog.
hair. It seems so sweet.
Oh yeah, yeah. The dog was having the best of times. Everyone kept giving her treats and stuff.
You know, it's funny that the panel that I did that got just the most like attendance and excitement and people like really aggressively wanting to talk was
Yeah.
the vampire panel, which is funny that no one came to Buffy because there was like a vampire panel. And
I
it,
think Buffy was too early in the day
yeah, probably.
because like the subject matter is vampires. We needed to do it in the evening.
It's fair. But yeah, this one I guess was like evening-ish. I think I did it after or before dinner that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like a huge turnout and people were so excited to talk about vampires and I'm like, well, this is good. Great. Let's do
Vampires are not dead. They're just I don't know. I kind of agree we need to make vampires monsters again.
Yes, I we were having that conversation last night, me and my husband, because we were debating watching True Blood because I haven't seen it, and
Hmm.
people like are shocked I haven't seen it because I love Buffy so much, and I'm like, yeah, but the thing I like about Buffy and Angel is they're monsters. It's not just
Yeah.
like this weird sexualized thing where like True Blood, I know I'm going into some like weird sexualized thing.
Right, right. Or like you know what I really liked is in Baldur's Gate, at least one version of the story that they had there is, he's the oh God,
His
I'm
name, I
gonna
know who
get
you're
yelled
talking
at.
about.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know you're
Uh,
talking about.
um
He looks like Spike. It's just Spike. We'll
it's
call him
just
Spike.
basically elf version of Spike.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm blanking.
Okay.
Astarion. There we
Oh no.
go. I got it.
Astarion.
Astarion.
Astarion. Yes.
I got there. I got there. Um I feel anyway that if you kind of help him find redemption by the end, like he's a vampire, but by the end, he's an elf that's just dealing with vampirism. And it
Mm-hmm.
gets stopped becoming a part of his identity and just became like any other ism.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one slice of him that he has to deal with.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that idea. Because that sort of felt like that's what Angel was. It was like, yeah, I'm a
Definitely.
vampire, but I'm really a guy who's just got
Yeah.
vampirism. And Spike got there too. It was like, I am a recovering vampire.
Yeah, it was it was so interesting to me, and it was never fully explained, which I don't think is a bad thing either, that Spike without a soul could like love and had strong feelings that you would have with the soul as a human. But other vampires
Mhm.
didn't. It was like you don't have a soul, you don't have feelings, you're just like a monster. And Angel was the
Yeah,
same way. But Spike like was different because he always kind of had those. But I guess as a human, he had those strong feelings. So then he had those strong
yeah,
feelings
yeah. It
as a vampire. It was interesting.
You see, that's where I'd love for my brainchild to happen because if we got to have him come back and be alive and have to deal with the spirit of his other self,
Hmm.
his nerdy human self competing with the Spike, because I have it that like the with the Egyptian urn of some sort would combine the Ba and the Ka, so the one with the soul and the one and the spirit that's a ghost. And so
Yeah.
that's why he's alive and why he's aged.
Yeah.
And because then we would get to have more of that conversation of why is it that Spike was able to love when
Yeah.
he didn't have a soul, if that's part of the spirit. So, it just, there's a lot of room to explore that question in my story head canon.
I know we got to get your story headcanon out there. I
Yeah,
also,
we got to Sarah Michelle Gellar, hire
yes,
me. I have it figured out. We
she
can get
does.
Spike back.
She knows all
Sorry.
about the Buffy. That's I Sarah Michelle Gellar was so separated from Angel that I worry about the continuity of the new Buffy because she has like I don't think they're going to value the continuity of Angel. I honestly don't know.
I feel like today or yesterday there was some announcement that she put out about how it's going to be a combination of respecting the old canon but creating something new. And just because some characters are dead doesn't mean they're not coming back. Which first off, I was like, okay, Anya's back because Anya's still like the actress is still alive
And
and
they're
kicking.
friends.
Yeah, they're friends, so she's
Cordy,
probably coming back.
I think she would have Charisma Carpenter has been so public. I feel like that she would. She's also starting a podcast to watch Buffy and Angel. I just saw that announcement yesterday.
Oh,
So
cool.
I feel
That's
like
cool.
she would be involved. Like if she could bring back friends, like
Hmm.
she's gonna bring them back.
Yeah, yeah, I would think that'd be a good one and way to reclaim that character because the way she went out in a stylish manner, but it didn't feel good
No, I
in any way.
cried so hard when
Yeah,
that happened.
that's right up there with Wash. Don't
Ugh.
don't freaking kill Wash.
I predicted that. We were in this. I
Did
was
you?
so into the Joss Whedon, I could read his expected,
You cracked the
unexpected.
code.
Yes, so much that we were sitting in the movie theater and I was with my friend and right when he landed the spaceship or whatever was like and saying I was like they're gonna kill him right here and they like I predicted it before it happened.
Right,
It was
right
like
before it happened.
I have the
I went
Joss
back to see if
storyline.
there was any hints. I went back when the movie came out on whatever DVD or something. I went back to and like watched it religiously, trying to figure out was there a hint that he was going to die, and there was one. There
Hmm.
was one where he was marked, and it was when they're standing in the refuse of the town where all the people that just laid down and died, and they're doing this pan shot, and I think it's Jane saying, "Man, this is just ridiculous. What a senseless way to die," and it stops on Wash over his
Mm,
shoulder, the full frame of Wash, and it's just
mm,
like that was our only hint.
yeah. It was
That was
also
our
like
only hint.
a very mirrored reflection to like Tara being an unexpected death.
I liked Tara's death, though.
I was
Isn't
so
that
angry. I
strange? I
was so
did like
angry.
her death because I don't know, it hit. It hit. It had a reverberation in the group where I feel like Charisma Carpenter was already gone by that point.
Hmm.
So then it was just putting a button on it.
I, I feel like I'm gonna spoil this for everybody. Well, I mean, it's been out for years, right? So spoil is a
Right, right.
spoiler. This is
Little,
Firefly and Buffy and Angel, the whole
right, right.
story. He killed all three female main characters in Angel within half a season of each other.
Yeah, I remember that coming up on the panel. I hadn't
And
realized it till someone said it. I was like, oh my God.
it was it's always bothered me because I'm like,
Well,
like
I'm wondering if that's when he was starting to turn to the dark side, because I don't feel like he started there, but he definitely, once he started getting a taste of power, I think he went there.
I agree and definitely. I mean, it was just it it just felt like a betrayal of like I don't know, especially with Cordy. Like Angel needed that grounded
That big sister that he
yeah,
never knew he needed. Yeah, she was
yeah.
definitely that. She was kind of a Donna in that way. If you know, because I was in the Doctor
Yeah.
Who panel too, and we were talking about the companions, and Donna is so unique amongst the Doctor's companions because she was his big sister that he didn't know he needed or wanted.
Hmm.
You know, and nobody other companion has ever been that. Has
Yeah.
ever been like, I don't really give a care if you're thousands of years old. You are an idiot.
Right.
And
Just
that
gonna
was
tell you like
Cordy.
it is. Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Oh, it's so good. This is why we were on the panel for Buffy and the nerd stuff. Love it.
We've got opinions. They
Love
must be expressed.
it. Yes. Oh my gosh. I could talk about it all day. What is your favorite convention that you've been to? Is it Dragon Con? Or is there another?
I wouldn't say Dragon Con. Dragon Con is in a category, so it's like riding a hurricane.
Yes.
I love going. I will always go, especially if I always get in as a pro or a guest even. But is it my favorite con? I don't know if I could say that because it's a monster all on its own. It's like, so what would be my favorite? Actually, if I am honest, it's going to be C2E2 here in
Okay.
Chicago. I have to say, C2E2 is my local con, but it's a monster unto itself. It's a
Hmm.
granddaddy con. It's huge, but there's so many of these cons that get very corporate, and
Hmm.
you know what I mean. Like it's Disney and it's
Right.
Crunchyroll and
Yes.
whatever they're promoting that year.
Yes.
Um, Marvel. But at C2E2, a good half of the room is dedicated to artists and original creators and indie creators. And
Hmm.
that was what I always felt that people really came to C2E2 for was to
Yeah.
find, and it's the biggest venue for those kinds of people. And even if there were like 200 artists there, or and half of, good maybe 50 of them are authors. Either, and there's only so many dollars that can go around in any given room, right? Well,
Right.
even then, I would always do extremely well. I would still be selling a 1.01% of the total population that was there, and that was still amazing for me. I would still walk away with record sales because everybody came to look for us there.
Hmm.
And now they've got the writers alley at C2E2, and I thought that was going to be death. And the first year it was death. I will be,
Hmm.
writers alleys can be absolute death because people skip them.
Right.
And that first year they had a court like one of those material walls between them and the artist alley to delineate it, and nobody knew they were back there. They had to take it down for the second day. because people were complaining so much. Nobody knew they were back there. But then
Yeah.
they moved us over to a different space that goes up the escalators towards the panel, so everyone has to go past us.
Right.
And we pull and they go through basically a water wheel, and we sell really, really well in the author's alley. So
I think
I
it's such a
gotta
good
say it's
idea.
well, and there's something to be said. As much as I like traveling and I like
Mhm.
going to staying in hotels and everything, there's something to be said for sleeping in your own bed. And this is literally like 20 minutes from my house if the
Yeah.
highway's not blocked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, it's, I think I got the most friends at it because, of course, I've met all these people in the other local cons, and there's people that come from far away that go to this one because
Mhm.
it's a big one. So yeah, I would say that one's my favorite for all them reasons.
Mhm. Have you ever been to San Diego Comic-Con?
Nope, nope, and I don't. I mean, I would go if invited, but I've always been warned away from San Diego.
Really, it's chaos. I've only ever gone as a guest because we used to model for these benchwarmer trading cards, and so me
Oh,
and
sure.
friends would be like invited to sign at the Previews World booth, which I love Previews World, and
Okay.
we got the special Spider-Gwen hoodies before they came out, and I was all excited to
Oh,
see Spider.
cool.
But
Did you get to keep them?
yeah,
Yeah,
great. It
that's the
was
best.
great.
That's the best.
I love that hoodie, but anyway, it's it's like another world. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, and I bet it is. I
Crazy.
bet it's right up there with Dragon Con and everything but I've been warned away from San Diego because it is more corporate than any other of the cons. And
Mhm.
and maybe this is changing, maybe they're trying to do a cultural shift of some sort, but like Dragon Con and everything, they've carved out these niche areas
Mhm.
for indie creators in
Mhm.
every track that they've created.
Yeah.
And I don't know that San Diego has done that. I haven't heard. So they say like you can go to San Diego and actually not do really well because no, unless you're writing for like
Mhm.
Star Trek or Marvel or
Right.
you're not going to get noticed at all.
That makes
So,
sense. I can see that. I feel like it's a
right?
good place to go for the experience, but not from like a sales perspective or like a
Right.
business perspective.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I'd maybe go to do it just to be
mhm.
a participant, but I don't so far. I mean, unless I get a tie-in book from Disney or something, or
Mhm.
again, Sarah Michelle Gellar, call me.
Right.
Um, I, I don't think I would go by choice as a seller or an author.
That's
You
yeah,
know,
I agree with that thought process too. Like we
yeah.
it's a place to go. My friend was she had friends at Nintendo. So we wound up on the Nintendo yacht. They had like a Nintendo yacht in the harbor.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
And we were on the Nintendo yacht and they had like they were promoting Scream Queens and Jamie Lee Curtis was there. And my friend was dressed up like Squirrel Girl in this like elaborate squirrel outfit. And Jamie Lee
Wow.
Curtis took her picture and I was like, what? Like that's why you
They're
go to San
people
Diego
too.
Comic-Con, right? Because you're like, what is
They're
happening
people
right now?
too. They're there to have fun as well. Oh
That's
man.
but yeah, not a
Yeah.
good indie place. I can definitely agree with that.
Well, there's like Gen Con is like that too. It's so focused on games
Mm-hmm.
and of all sorts and kinds and everything. There is an author's alley there. I've heard such mixed reviews that I've just never pulled the trigger on it, especially because it's always been in like at the same time as something else that I would rather do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like there's some of those kinds of cons that are just like they're so narrowly focused on the thing they're focused on that there's no room for
Anything else?
anything else that
Yeah.
could show up and do the thing with them.
That's fair. I know I'm trying to like find my sweet spot in conventions still because I've done several Paracons like that are just full
Oh
on
yeah.
Paracons and because the show like walks that line where it's appropriate for the Paracon stuff. So I've
Yeah.
done that. And then I'm, trying to get into the travel and adventure show because, we have all the adventure stuff and a lot of the books are
Yeah.
adventure themed and it's a travel brand and it like fits in with that world. So it's like walking the line of like, I guess we can do this and we can do this, but then like I love the nerdy Comic-Con stuff and we kind of fit into some of these different tracks. So I think we're
Right.
still trying to like find that sweet spot.
Well, and I'm kind of doing the same thing where like now that I've got the cozy paranormal romance, I could go do romantic cons. I could go
Yeah.
do book romance focused shows. I just haven't yet because Comic-Cons were my bread and butter. So now
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out how to expand and check those places out and find my audience that way. I just wanted to let you know I have watched the first and a half episodes of the Weird Travel show.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was I was like, I like what you got going on there. That was cool.
Thank you. You know, the first season is so, I think I told you it's so not exactly what we wanted it to be because we were in development with several like major networks. It was like skipping around. We were getting lots of cooks and the
Yeah.
producers saying, you should do this, you should do this. It got pushed really hard into the paranormal. Not that I don't love the paranormal, but the second season is like international travel, like cultural folklore, the really like,
Yeah.
crazy, weird, interesting places. So I'm excited to like in the fall, like have these 10 episodes come out that are really what we wanted this to be.
Right. The real vision of where you were going.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I love
The
that.
I real You went to that one guy who has all those statues and things.
Yes.
And I lost it when he said that's a real asinine statue and I just lost it.
He
I had to stop the recording because I couldn't stop laughing because I looked at it. It's such a dumb pun.
I
Because,
know.
anybody, of course, none of you who are listening to us have seen what I'm talking about. It's like a nine with a donkey going through it, and it's an asinine. I
Um,
love me a pun. I'm
this
sorry.
guy was great. Like when we connected, I couldn't even email him because he was so old school. I'd like call him on the phone
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
he's like, "Sorry, I just got back from a parade today and I was dressed up like Willy Wonka throwing candy at kids." And I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be a real."
He's living his best life every moment, I think.
He is. I
Yeah.
love that. I love just
I have
the
to applaud those people.
dinosaur warfare. I'm like, this is great. Like, just a natural bridge. Got some dinos and some Civil War soldiers. You're like, hmm.
Well, like what I liked about that story was as it unfolded, at first it just seems like, oh, this is just a weird guy with a very obsessive hobby. But then he started saying, like, oh no, I've done this for like this amusement park. I've created this for that amusement park. It's like, oh no, no, this is a proper business.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing and he knows what he needs to do to make it a business.
Hmm.
And it's just also crazy, crazy art.
Yeah. He created Foam Hinge, which was like a
Yeah,
full-scale styrofoam replica of Stonehenge. And I think it's not there anymore, but it was in Virginia for a long time, like one of those wonky, like roadside attractions. And I'm like, well,
right.
this is great. Just stop in Foam Hinge
Well,
today.
and then there's Bunnyhenge. That wasn't in the same place, right?
No, Bunny Hinge is in California, Newport
Okay.
Beach. Yeah, it's I found out about Bunny Hinge and was like, well, I have to go to Bunny Hinge now.
Right.
What?
This needs to
And
happen.
the guy the guy that created it, I don't know. It got a lot of issues with the local government trying to like get like they got angry that taxpayer money was spent on all those bunnies. So
Oh no.
it was just a
I can
whole
see the picket signs down with the carrot.
yeah, he had one of the politicians had a campaign video blowing up the bunnies because that was like his like pitch into getting into office. Like if you get me in office, I'll blow up the bunnies.
All right. But he didn't actually blow up the
He
bunnies because you
didn't.
can't.
He
Yeah,
didn't blow up the bunnies.
that would be destruction of public property. I would love to sit down on that court, on
I
that
know.
trial, when you have to describe how you destroyed public property
Right. It's like at this point the money's already
of
been spent.
bunnies.
Yeah. So good. There's there's some good stuff. I'm curious to see what you feel later on too, because there's like a cat guy that created a museum dedicated to cats to fund like a cageless cat shelter. Like there's some
Oh,
fun
wow.
stuff that's like
Okay. I'll let you know when I hit them. I'll
yes.
start to texting you comments as I watch it.
So what's your plan for your next series of books?
Well, the next book, I'm writing two books simultaneously right now, and they're actually my first two main series. So there's the Urban Fantasy Cyberpunk series,
Mhm.
and then I'm writing the third book of the Cozy Paranormal series,
Mhm.
which is Tea and Imps. And I have the first three chapters up on Ream.
Mhm.
I'm gonna give that a try and like come follow me, come join along and read as I write, and you
That's
can give me
cool.
feedback and I'll ignore it. Probably not. But I'm giving that a try. So I'm in progress. I've got like 10 chapters of the third one done, and I think I really do know where this is going. And then I'm also writing the fifth one of, the Finder of the Lucky Devil series, which is my urban fantasy cyberpunk. I'm writing the fifth one, Demonic Ink. And then I have one more book after that, and that series will pause.
Mhm.
Like that arc will be done, but I may not, I may come back to it another time when I figure out another arc,
Right.
that kind of thing. And then I write another million other books in between and try to figure out which one is trending right now.
How many books do you write in a year on
Well,
average?
this I'm still figuring out
Okay.
because like 2 years ago, I wrote 8 full-length novels in a year.
Wow.
Last year, I only wrote one, and I think somewhere in the middle is probably my sweet spot.
Wow. And that's
Yeah.
what you do full time? Because I mean, how can you
That
write?
is my job right now. I do have the benefit of a husband who is supporting me, but I'm also supporting him, so I feel like it's a fair trade.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, this is my I've dedicated. I mean, COVID basically ate my real job,
Right.
and so at that point, I was like, I guess I'm all in on the writing,
Hmm.
and I haven't gone back since yet. Knock on wood and all that jazz.
Amazing. It's a great place to be.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. It's my passion. I just hired a publicist who I hope will take me to the next level. And so far, I've been very impressed with her. And I now have an assistant who's helping me do these shows, which it was getting to be too many hats and not
Hmm.
enough me to put the hat on.
Yes.
So,
I know
yeah, I'm
it
building my
is.
business out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, brand building is where it's at in today's time. Having your own brand and your own
Mhm.
business and just, doing what you want to do.
Yeah, and it's like I don't think you have to learn to do it all, but you need to have an basic understanding of what it is, which I think is what, all the stuff I've done on social media marketing and all the stuff I've learned. And now I'm passing it to this publicist, but I know what she's talking about most of the
Hmm.
time. So I also can also identify whether it's scamming me or not. Because
Hmm.
there's been a couple of other people I've tried to work with where they start saying things, I'm like, actually, that's not how it works.
Mm.
Because I know it doesn't work. I do this and this and this. And then they're like, oh. I'm like, oh shoot, do I know more than you about social marketing management? I
Yeah.
think this isn't gonna work. Bye.
It is a time where everybody thinks that they are, a marketing expert. That's one of those
Yeah.
like vague things that doesn't require, a degree and everyone just is good at it. And it's one of those things that you
Hmm.
can learn, but yeah, it's finding an expert is definitely where it's
Yeah. And so
something.
this person's helping me unify my brand and clean up my Facebook. It's a travesty.
Oh no.
Travesty. My Instagram is shiny and pretty, but my Facebook is not so much. So she's giving me a good cleaning.
Sorry.
And filling with
Sorry about that. I'm just still mildly dying.
Oh, you got sick?
Well, my daughter brought home the preschool plague. It was a
Ah.
long time ago. It was like a month and a half ago. And
So
then
it's lingering. It's one of
lingered.
those.
Yeah. By
Yeah.
the time I think I'm clear, it like kind of comes a little bit back and I'm like that.
Mm, you need to go get a neti pot and just do a full flush out.
I love neti pots so much.
Yeah. They're a weird thing. It's like I feel like I just jumped off a high board, but I, you know,
Yeah.
slowly drowned myself. I'm waterboarding myself in order to
Yeah.
breathe again.
It's great. It's very cathartic for me. I don't know. I love, there's been times where I've been traveling, like I was in Germany and I had to go find one. Like I need a neti pot and I'm going to buy one
Right.
in
Do you
Germany.
kind of like set the mood for it? Like you light candles around the bathroom and turn off the lights and have soft music playing as you
Oh, but I
neti.
wish that's a great idea.
Make it a whole thing.
That's a great idea. Part of the bath routine, just flush it
Instead
out.
of using water, use Chardonnay.
Oh my God. It's like when you get hookah and they put wine in the bowl. Have you
Yeah.
had that?
No.
I'm like sad to say I know it's not great, but I like recently was like I'd never had hookah before. 'Cause
Okay.
I was so like I don't know vanilla PC, and I was like okay my husband's like, we should just do a hookah because they had a hookah somewhere. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Which
Right.
which again, like we don't need to do this that often, but like we went a few times and then they had one that was like, you can add wine into the bowl. And I'm like, oh, we should do that. And then we're like, oh God, this is a terrible idea.
What happens when you add wine to the bowl?
It just makes it like extra strong.
Oh, it hits you harder.
It hits you harder. It's like that
Okay.
feeling where you get like a little light when you're doing it, like, oh, I feel so light and
Yeah.
relaxed. It just comes so much harder all at once. You're
Right,
like,
right.
oh, wow.
Oh, you think this is all song and roses? Well, this one hates you.
It does, yeah. And like, there's this, so vasovagal syncope, it's when you stand up too fast and you get dizzy and you're like, you start
Oh,
thoughts and
of course it has a name. We put a name on everything.
yes. And I get that all the time, and sometimes I'll just be hanging out, and me and my husband call it vagling. It's for short. So I'm like, I'm vagling,
Aw.
I'm vagling. And so when I do the hookah, I'll be like, oh God, I'm vagling a little bit. But it's like a good vagal. Like it's a
Right, right,
controlled
right.
vagal. Okay, I'm vagling, but hey.
I haven't done too many substances myself. Like I think I had my first pot brownie like 2 years ago, and
Hmm.
I'm in my 40s. Um, and it was not good because I had one of the brownies, and then after an hour, nothing had happened yet. So my sister-in-law said, "Well, just have a second one then. It's probably you didn't get a potent enough section of it or something." That was a very big mistake because then about a half an hour after that, the first brownie finally hit. And then shortly after that, the second brownie hit, and I was like, I'm not okay. And I
Oh,
went on a journey. I
oh,
became the goddess of the universe, pontificating to the masses. And apparently, there was a crowd of people listening to me say some really cool things that were real
wow.
deep and shit. And then I would like, but to me, it felt like I was falling asleep and waking up and falling asleep and waking up and falling asleep and waking up over and over within seconds of each other. It was
Oh,
the strangest
weird.
sensation. And I would keep forgetting that my husband was right there with me. And apparently I'm still like he got the proof that I still love him and I'm not lying to him because every time I'd like forget and then look at him and go, "Hi.
Oh.
Hi, who are you?"
That's really funny.
I keep falling in love with him every 5 minutes.
Aw. That's real love.
Yep, yep. I'm in it to win it.
Yeah, I haven't done that, but I'm always afraid. I don't know. I'm afraid because we found out too that just things like that at all will just hit me so hard. So I'm always afraid to. I'm like,
Hmm.
I feel like nothing is better than the
Well,
bad.
I've had slightly better experiences since then. Not too many, but like there was this one woman who made popcorn with the butter on it, but
Oh.
she actually knew how to measure it down to the precise, so like she knew
Mhm.
precisely how much was in each bag. She's like, "This is only five. You will not get that sick again." Because yeah, I didn't feel better after the brownie until I threw it up.
Oh,
Yep. And
yeah.
that was like, that's not how I wanted to impress anybody in this party. But I
Right.
felt a lot better after that. So she's like, you will not throw up, just eat the popcorn. And I had a great time with the popcorn because once I had eat
Oh.
the one bag, everything was a sexual innuendo and I couldn't stop giggling. It made no sense to anyone else, but I just thought it was hilarious.
That's
Everything's
amazing.
a sexual innuendo.
Right. It's the way to live
Right.
life, right?
And we are playing board games at the time. So
Oh, that's fun.
sometimes it really was.
Oh, that's fun. I love it. Oh, wow. So, Megan, tell
Yeah.
everyone where they can find you next. I know you just told us about the next convention, but what's your lineup look like?
Let's see. I got Indie PopCon is this weekend, and then in 2 weeks I've got New Orleans Galaxy Con,
Mm.
and then I don't think I'm doing anything until Dragon Con, and because I avoided doing things around Dragon Con because Dragon Con's 5 days, and you're devastated for 2 weeks after that, so you gotta like buffer it. And then after that, I think. I'm going to be at the Sleepy Hollow Ren Fair, of all
Oh,
places, selling books out of a
fun.
gypsy wagon that my friend has. He's been doing it for 2 years now. He has this gypsy wagon that he put all his books in, and they love him so much they gave him the bookstore. And he's like, so I need help running the bookstore and the Gypsy Wagon. So he called all his author friends and said, "We'll put all the books in the Gypsy Wagon every weekend. You just have to come for one weekend and run the wagon. So that will be my turn to run the wagon."
Oh,
Was on
that's
that
so
last weekend.
cool.
Hey, right? I love Ren fairs. I have the complete costume for, Elizabethan Bristol times. So I'll, go hang out for 2 days. I gotta find out though if we have a place to sleep or if I have to like camp
In the
or,
gypsy wagon.
right? Well, it doesn't look like it has a lot of floor space. I say
Fair,
gypsy wagon very like a miniaturized gypsy wagon. It's like,
right?
more in style than in actual like what they would actually have lived in.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. You know, my Ren Fair dress, I had my friend who was a costume designer remake one of the dresses from Ever After.
Oh,
The blue
cool.
one where Drew Barrymore goes to like the monastery with the prince. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Man, she had good dresses in that movie.
That's my favorite movie of all time. And I recognize that it's not
Yeah.
like a great movie, but it just hits right. You know, it's like
I think
Italian
it's a great
Renaissance.
movie.
It is a
I
great
don't
movie.
know why people say it isn't. It's like why is it not a great movie? I
I
think
think it's
it's
perfect, but
wonderful.
that's just
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. I think it's a great interpretation of Cinderella.
Yes. And
And one that kind of made sense how
it
it all went
did.
down,
I liked that they had all the references to Utopia. I like that that Da Vinci's just a badass character.
right?
So
Yep.
good. And that
I'm
it's
the
like
man who opened the door.
that's the best line.
I know.
So good. And they're in Italian Renaissance clothes in France speaking with English accents. You're just like, yeah, you don't think
Yep.
too hard about it. It's
Don't
great.
think too hard about it. It's their own magical world.
Yeah, and it's Angelica Houston is like the best. Everybody in that movie was great too. I liked both the stepsisters too.
Yeah, and I like that the stepsisters were unique personalities to
Yes.
themselves.
And
Like,
that
yeah, they both
Stephanie,
start out being bad, but then one turns out to be not so bad, and the other one is definitely all in on being like her mother, and
yes,
it's not simple, and I'd prefer that.
yes. I love the nice one at the very end, the of course not, mother. I'm only here for the food. Such a
I've
good
seen her in
one.
so many other things too, and she is so sassy.
Oh yeah,
I
she's
love her.
she's the stalker in Two and a Half Men.
Oh God, that's right.
Yeah. And she
I
was in The
forgot
Last of
about
Us,
that.
right?
Huh?
She was in The Last of Us, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I she's so good. She'll work forever.
Yeah. It's
She's
just
got crazy down.
oh, definitely. In the best way.
Crazy old woman, you can work forever.
Oh yeah. So Megan, tell us where we can find you on social media.
Okay, you can find me at Megan Mackie Author on Instagram and on Facebook. I also have the Megan's Book Bar, which is my Facebook reading group. I'd love for people to come. That's where I put most of my social stuff about what I'm doing and what cons I'm at. It's the more insider access thing. You can also join my newsletter at meganmackieauthor.com/newsletter. I give away a free serial chapter every week of this lit RPG adventure story that I just write for fun. And I'm up to like 70 chapters now. So, and then you can read the back chapters on Wattpad. So you can, if you want a taste of my stuff for free, you can go to Wattpad and read up on those chapters and give me stars in every chapter, please, because that really helps.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, this was fun.
So much fun. And until next time, everybody, stay weird.